Do you want to elevate your Christmas decor with a dash of sophistication? Well, that is exactly what we're doing today. We are going to be decorating my niches here in the family room, and we are also going to be decorating the kitchen. Plus, it is never too early to start thinking about Christmas gifts. Christmas sneaks up on us every single year, so I've got a couple of gift ideas that I know that you will love. Well, let's start off by decorating these niches right here in the family room. Now, last year I made some giant lamp posts that went inside each niche. I loved them. They were fabulous. But we've got to switch it up. We have to switch things up every single year so that things are nice and fresh and you have new ideas. So what we are going to do is create some trellis Christmas trees and put them in these niches. Now, right now, I have some large urns that are in these niches. They are absolutely stunning. I love them. They are large in size. They have so much detail on them. This is the lid of one of the urns, and look at how fantastic all of the detail is on these. I love the finial and the ridges around the lid. So what we're going to do is use these urns once again. Now, I purchased these urns at Lowe's. Can you believe that Lowe's has such fantastic decorative pieces? Well, I know that I would love to receive one of these for Christmas, and I'm sure one of you might too, or know somebody that you could gift it to. So what we're going to do with these containers is I'm going to remove the lid, and then I'm going to fill it up with some paper because we need a base that is going to keep our trellises in place. The trellises that I'm going to use I've had for a very long time. They're gold and they're quite large. They're the perfect size for our trellis Christmas trees. So I'm going to place these trellises inside of our urns. We need a garland that we can wrap around the trellises to create our Christmas tree. I have a very thin garland that I put a strand of lights through. I just wrap those lights around the garland. I know it doesn't look like much right now, but we are going to take another garland. You guys have seen these before. These are my champagne leaf sparkle garlands. And what I'm going to do is intersperse the leaf garland with our green pine garland. I'm going to intertwine these two garlands together. The champagne leaf garland is wired so I can easily wrap the branches around the pine garland. Now that these two garlands are mixed, I can attach them to my trellis. If this step is too much for you, Lowe's has some fantastic garlands that are pre-made. I saw some fabulous ones when I was there the other day. I found a frosty one that had some botanicals that were already attached. So if you don't want to go through the hassle of doing what I did, you can definitely pick up one of those at Lowe's. So what I'm going to do now is get some floral wire, and I'm going to attach the end of my garland to the metal trellis. I just wrapped that wire around the garland and then twisted the wire together so that it would stay in place. Then I'm going to wrap the garland around my trellis in a spiral. I'm going to attach the garland to the trellis as it goes up. That way it won't slide down. Once again, I'm using the floral wire to keep the garland securely in place. I wrapped this garland all the way to the tippity top of the trellis and then wired it to the top. And then I repeated the exact same process with my second urn and trellis. I wrapped the garland around the trellis and attached it with the floral wire to the trellis. I love the combination of the green frosted pine garland and the sparkly leaves. It looks so pretty. Another Christmas element that I have used on our garland right here above the mirror and the garland on the fireplace is those gold beads. I have these strands of gold beads, and I thought, how pretty would that be to wrap these, just kind of drape them around the container. So I took a strand of these beads and some more floral wire, and I attached it to the garland with the floral wire. Then I'm going to swag it in the front of the urn and then attach it back to the garland, swag it again down low and back up, and then swag it a third time. This time the swag is going to be a little bit shorter, and I am once again attaching it to the garland with the floral wire. These gold beads are an elegant touch that is unique. It looks like our beautiful urn has a layered gold necklace. I added the gold strand of beads to both containers. Our trellis Christmas tree needs some poinsettias, so I got a total of 4 poinsettias, 2 for one tree and 2 for the other. These are quite large and they're definitely a statement floral. These poinsettias are festive and bring in that feeling. I love bows. I use them all the time when I'm decorating for Christmas. It's a great way to add some texture and color, but also to kind of hide the mechanics of where everything is attached. Well, we're gonna create a bow using this white satin ribbon, and then I've got some cream and gold ribbon, and then finally I have this Merry Christmas ribbon, which is going to tie the white and the gold and the cream all together. So I looped my white ribbon and my cream and gold ribbon into a large bow. I attached it together with the floral wire. And then I took my Merry Christmas ribbon. I cut out a segment that just said Merry and Christmas. I pinched it right there in the middle, so I have Merry on one side and Christmas on the other. And then I just nestled it right inside of the large looped bow, wired it to the large bow, and then attached the entire bow to the bottom of our trellis tree. I made 2 of these large bows and attached them to the bottom corner of the trees. You've got to add some ornaments to your Christmas trees. And I have these beautiful ornaments that I am just going to fill our Christmas tree with. They look elegant and classy, and I'm going to add them sporadically to our trellis trees. These ornaments are the jewelry of the trees. They're sparkly, shiny, and add that maximal design that we're going for. Now that our ornaments are hung, I'm going to take a couple of these pearl picks. I love how large these pearl picks are, and I'm going to place them in our tree. I placed them in various areas that were vacant, that way it filled up that space, and then I also placed one at the top. Now we need a tree topper, but I didn't want something that was so large it was going to overwhelm our trees. So what I did was I got a sparkly crystal ornament. These are fairly large, and if they look familiar, it's because I have some that are on our garland. And because our trellis trees are so close to the garland, it's going to be nice to have some similar items. That way everything flows together and we have the same ornaments on both of these pieces. So I'm going to take this sparkly crystal ornament and I'm going to attach it to the top of our tree, again with the floral wire. I love these classy, shiny toppers. They are the right size and they're not too heavy, so that makes these the perfect choice for our tree. The time has come. We are now going to take our trellis Christmas trees and place them inside of our niches. Now inside of our niches, I of course have my large mirrors, and then I've got some tables, and I'm going to place these trellis trees on top of the table. They look fantastic in these niches. That is exactly what I wanted for Christmas this year. It does not overwhelm the space. They definitely coordinate with all of the other pieces that we have in our room, like our Christmas tree, our garlands, and our buffet display. They have the same leaves, ornaments, and bows. These are the perfect decorative detail to go inside of these niches. And because I strung the garlands with lights, which I did purchase at Lowe's, Lowe's has a huge variety of lights there, so you can pick up a strand of lights in whatever color you want at Lowe's. But I love the way that these sparkle. Oh, the lights just really bring it to life. Lighting is so important in your everyday life, but it's especially important at Christmas time. So yes, we have our sparkly lights on our Christmas tree, but we also have these little puck lights that are inside the 3 niches themselves. When I renovated this entertainment center, I decided I needed some lighting, but I did not want to call an electrician. So what I did was I went to Lowe's and I picked up a package of these fabulous eco lights. They're battery operated and they actually have a remote, so you can just turn it on. It is so convenient. And they also have a timer, which is so nice, so I can just program my lights to come on in the evening time so that it can give my trees that soft glow. So a very affordable gift that you could give yourself or others if they have a dark home but they don't want to hire an electrician are these fabulous puck lights. They look fantastic in my entertainment center. Now that everything is decorated and in place, you can see how fantastic they look in these niches. They complete this entire family room scene from the buffet all the way to the Christmas tree. Now let's move on and decorate the kitchen. I love decorating the kitchen for Christmas because we spend so much time in here. Between all of us, someone is always in the kitchen. So it's fun to add a little Christmas touch to this area. The first thing we're going to start off with is a centerpiece for this kitchen island. Now, as you can see, we have nothing out anywhere right now. So we are definitely going to take this kitchen and make it shine. So the first thing I'm going to do is get a vinyl runner, and I'm going to put that down in the center of our island. I love using a vinyl runner because if it gets spilled on, which inevitably it's going to, you can just wipe it up and it's good as new. One of the most popular comments that I get on a very regular basis is, where did I buy my marble piece that's upstairs in my office that I do all my projects on? You know the one I'm talking about? The one that has the gold edging around it. I purchased that piece years and years ago at Burlington, and I have not been able to find another one like it since. But I have been able to find a substitute. I have these large marble tiles. They are 12 by 24 and they are from Lowe's. I use them all over my house. I've got them on top of my nightstands. I have them on my buffet, and they are so affordable. So let me show you exactly where they are in the store. What you're gonna do is go to the marble and tile section and then go all the way to the end of the aisle, and it's on the bottom. That's where it is in my Lowe's. And if you cannot find it in your store, you can definitely purchase it online. Well, these giant marble tiles are only $12.98, which is such a great deal. For reference, this is how large this marble tile is, and the name is Bianco Glacier Polished Marble. So I will leave a link to this, but this is what we're going to use to create a very similar, fantastic piece that we can use that's going to look just like the marble piece upstairs in my office. So the first thing we need to do is tape off our marble tile. So I got some blue painter's tape. That way only the sides of the marble are exposed. Then I got some gold leaf rub and buff and a paper towel. I added a dab of the rub and buff to the paper towel, and then I wiped it onto the sides of the marble. The sides are very porous, so it sucked up that gold rub and buff so easily. It glides on smoothly. Once I was finished adding it to the front, I moved on to the sides. I wiped the rub and buff along both sides, then I flipped it around, and I repeated that process by taking a dab of that rub and buff and then wiping it onto the front side. Once each side had been covered in the gold leaf rub and buff, I let it dry for about 15 minutes, and then I removed the blue painter's tape, and look at how fabulous the gold rim looks along the edge of this tile. I'm going to place our tile right on top of the marble piece that I have on my sideboard in my office, and look at how similar they look. It is a fantastic match. Well, we're not done yet. We are actually going to take our plain marble tile and we're going to turn it into a riser. And the way we're going to do that is by adding some feet. So I went to the knob and pull section at Lowe's, and I found the perfect knob that is a muted gold tone. And the most important part about this knob is that it is flat. I'm going to attach these knobs to the bottom of my marble tile with E6000. I added the E6000 to the knob and then placed it in the corner of my marble tile. The E6000 is fantastic. It's very durable, very strong, and rest assured these knobs will not be going anywhere. Once all four of my knobs had been glued to the marble tile, I let it dry overnight. So look at how fabulous our marble riser looks. I'm going to place it a little off center on top of my vinyl runner because we're going to put some fantastic decorative items on this in just a minute. But you guys, this was so easy and so affordable to make. I spent $12.98 on the marble tile and a couple of dollars for the knobs, and then I just added that gold leaf rub and buff to the sides. Could not be simpler. You could definitely make one of these for your own home, or of course you could make these as very affordable Christmas gifts and give these away to your loved ones. I'm sure that they would absolutely adore getting one of these marble risers for Christmas. They're classy, timeless, and I absolutely love them. And if you're not in the DIY mood, then you can just buy one. I purchased this at Lowe's a year or so ago, and I love it so much. It is once again marble, so it looks timeless and elegant, but my favorite part are the handles on this tray. Look at how beautiful those are. They're these gold leaf handles. Because this is a neutral piece too, I can use it all year long, and I definitely have. I've used it in the fall. I've used it during the holidays. It is just a fantastic piece. So you can definitely give this away as a gift as well. All right, let's start adding some items to our centerpiece. The first thing we're gonna do is use some more of these crystal trees. I have these crystal trees on my fireplace mantle. I also have them on my buffet next to the nativity. So to tie all of those spaces together, we definitely need to add some crystal trees to our centerpiece. So I'm gonna place one on top right towards the edge, and then I'm gonna take our smaller one and I'm going to place it right next to it, a little bit closer to the front. Now I have this a mini tree skirt that I purchased a couple years ago, I would say. It has the most beautiful pearl detail on it, and I'm going to wrap it around the base of the large tree and then tie it in the back. What I love about this tree skirt is that not only does it add some more pearls and sparkles to our centerpiece, but it also softens the hard marble and gives our centerpiece texture. Now it's time for these show-stopping pieces, which are these beautiful deer. I have a tall standing deer that I'm going to add on top of our marble riser, and then I've got this sitting deer that I'm going to place right here in the front. What I love about these deer is how large they are and all the detail on them. One thing that I did not love about these deer was that the wreaths that they had around their neck had some red berries, which is fantastic. We love red, but it's not gonna go with my specific color scheme this year. So what I did was I just pulled those berries out and then I added my own. I have some champagne and some gold berries. I also have these frosty leaves, and then I tied a bow with some gorgeous gold jacquard ribbon, and I placed that in the front. And now these reindeer look like they belong in this kitchen and in this space because their wreaths coordinate with everything else that we have in this area. I like to decorate in odd numbers, so 1s, 3s, 5s, 7s. Right now I have 4 large pieces, so we need one more. And we also have some space right here in the front by our trees. So I've got this Joy Noel sign that's going to be our 5th element, but it's also going to be perfect right there in the front. It's small, it's the right coloring, and it's a fancy little sign that's going to complete the centerpiece here on our kitchen island. What do you think about this centerpiece? Isn't it fantastic? It looks regal, it's large in scale, which makes it feel very substantial, but yet it's light because we have these crystal and pearl trees, and our sign has glass on it. Another thing that I love about this centerpiece is that even though it is large, we still have plenty of space on either side so that everybody can make their food and nothing is going to interrupt the fact that they can get their breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And that is the most important part about a centerpiece in the kitchen. Don't mess with the food prep area. This centerpiece is definitely a standout focal point to our kitchen. If you like Christmas decorating, then you have definitely come to the right place. I post new weekly videos, one on Monday and one on Thursday, and we are doing all kinds of decorating. We're doing dupes. We're doing complete room transformations. We've got thrift flips. When it comes to Christmas, I've got you covered. So make sure that you're subscribed so you won't miss out on your weekly dose of Christmas design inspiration. Now that we are finished creating our centerpiece on our island, let's move on and create some mini displays on the back wall. We are going to, first of all, start off with these little marble pieces. I love these. These are just a fun little detail to add on top of your countertop. So these are gonna go down first. And another item that I always keep underneath my cabinets are these little lights. These are battery operated lights, and they're perfect for task lighting. Now, you know, I had to sneak in some ginger jars somewhere in this area, and the kitchen is going to be the place where we put them. I have these beautiful white ginger jars. They have a lovely striped detail along the edge. But if I had just the regular jar, it would be way too much white. So we need to add a little detail to the center. So what I have are these mini wreaths. I purchased this package at Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to add some pretty little pearls to this wreath. I just hot glued them in place. And then I took this cream and gold ribbon. This is the same ribbon that we used on our trellis trees. And all I did was just hot glue it to the wreath. That way it just kind of hangs like this. And then I left a pretty long tail, and then I'm just going to put it inside of the jar and then pop the lid right back on. And then our wreath can just hang right in front of our ginger jar. Isn't that fantastic? It breaks up all of the white from the ginger jar. But as you know, we have used wreaths in multiple areas in our room. We've got the wreaths on the Christmas tree. We've got the wreaths on the fireplace mantle garland. So the wreaths are another element that is going to tie this entire space together. So this white ginger jar is going to be placed right on top of our marble rectangle. To the side of the ginger jar, I'm going to add this large glass Christmas tree, and it has this gold bottom. It's just fantastic. And I'm using glass because we have those crystal trees on the centerpiece. So we want to bring in some of those same details. So this glass tree is going to coordinate both of those pieces together. So this is going to go right next to our ginger jar. And then we do need a splash of color, and gold is definitely going to do the job. I've got this bottle brush Christmas tree with these pretty pearls as ornaments. And so this bottle brush Christmas tree is going to go right in the front. And now that this display is completed, we're going to do the exact same thing on the opposite side of the cooktop. These mini displays are just enough. They're not overwhelming, but they definitely bring in the Christmas spirit. This pot filler is definitely the focal point on this backsplash area, but we can't leave it plain, especially at Christmas time. So what I did was I got a sparkly gold wreath and I placed it behind the pot filler. And then I got another one of my frosted mini wreaths, the same wreaths that we have on our Christmas tree and on our garland, and I decorated it in the exact same way. We have those pretty pearls. We've got those frosted gold leaves. And down in the bottom, I have more of that Merry Christmas ribbon where I cut a segment that said Merry Christmas. And then I had one more bow ornament left over, hooray. And so I was able to place that in the center of the ribbon. I wired the ribbon and the ornament to the frosted wreath. I love how these are layered because I think the crystal wreath in and of itself would have been a little too plain. But by adding that additional wreath to the center, it brings in so much more color, much more texture. And because we have the pearls and the leaves and the ribbon, it ties everything together. Something else that's going to tie these two spaces together is this crystal wreath candle holder. These two pieces coordinate. I'm going to place this in the center of a scalloped marble tray, and then I put a gold candle in the middle. The gold candle is going to coordinate all the golds together. Plus, we love a candle. I love the way they smell, and the flicker flame is fantastic, especially in the evening time at Christmas. As many of you know, this kitchen was a complete renovation. It used to be dark and dated, and now it's light and bright, and it has so much more detail on it. I did all of the trim around the top of the cabinets and the cabinets themselves. I also made this hood, and I used a fantastic miter saw to help me do the job. My miter saw is from Lowe's. It's a DeWalt miter saw, and I use it all of the time. Most recently, I used it to cut all of the trim in my office. I cut and hung the trim that's around the wallpaper. I cut and hung the trim on our gallery photo wall. And let me tell you, all that trim makes such a huge difference. So not only do I have the miter saw, but I also have the DeWalt miter saw stand. These two pieces are fantastic together. It's so helpful to be able to roll this saw in and out of my garage. So if you want to start adding some beautiful molding to your house, then this DeWalt saw and stand will be a perfect gift that you can give yourself. And then if you don't want to do it, then you could gift this to somebody else and then just make them do it for you. That works. And I'm sure that they would be so happy to receive a gift like this. And one other thing that you can use to help you to create some trim are these miter shears that they have at Lowe's. These shears will cut thin trim at an angle so you can still get that look, but you don't have to have a saw. So you've got a couple of fantastic options to help you if you want to add some beautiful trim to your home. All of the pieces that we're talking about today that I got at Lowe's, I will link in my description box. And then I also have a Lowe's storefront, which I will link, so you can head on over there and see all of the fantastic items that I purchased from Lowe's, especially all the spray paint, because you know I keep Lowe's in business just by buying spray paint. But I love their store. They are fantastic, and I know that they will have some awesome gift ideas for you. So let's talk about what I have inside of my glass cabinets. In this one, I have a snowflake bowl that I placed on top of a frame stand. And then I have another snowflake bowl that I placed in the cabinet above the fridge. And then we're gonna move back to this cabinet, and inside of here is my favorite plate. This is a plate that I'm sure many of you have seen before. This was given to me by my great-grandfather, and I love it so much. I pull it out every single year and I think of him. And it is very nice to have some new, beautiful, shiny Christmas decorations, but the ones that really touch your heart and remind you of Christmases gone by are these sentimental pieces. So I love mixing the vintage pieces with my new pieces. These are treasures that make Christmas feel nostalgic. And then at the top shelf, I have some Merry and Bright plates. These are paper plates. Yes, paper. You can use paper or plastic plates and nobody's gonna know because they're so high up that they look like they're fantastic regular old plates, but they're paper plates, so you can definitely save your money by using paper or plastic. We cannot forget about our lights. I've got my large lanterns right here, and what I'm gonna do is take a segment of that Merry Christmas ribbon, I'm going to wrap it around the top of the lantern and tie it into a bow. And then I have a crystal ornament that I'm going to hang in the center of the bow. I love these little crystal snowflakes. They add a little bit of sparkle. So now that these bows are in place on my lanterns, we're gonna move on over to the sconces by my fridge. I'm going to be using some thinner jacquard ribbon. This is the ribbon that we used on our pretty little wreaths on our reindeer. I'm going to tie that into a bow, and then I'm going to get some more of these pretty crystal snowflakes, and I'm going to hang those from the bows. These bows are a small detail that really takes your Christmas decorating over the top. We have literally decorated this kitchen from the top to the bottom. Now our kitchen is completely decorated and ready for Christmas. I absolutely love the way it turned out, from our island centerpiece with the reindeer, the crystal trees, and our marble riser, to the mini displays on either side of the cooktop, the crystal wreath and the candle holder, all the way to the plates, and of course the beautiful bows and ornaments on our lights. Between getting the kitchen decorated for Christmas and making our trellis Christmas trees for our niches, we are definitely making some good headway on our Christmas decorating. This entire space is almost done. We only have to decorate the table and a couple other little items that we're going to be doing next week. I think you're going to be really excited about them. Everything we made today was easy to do and beautiful, and definitely fits in with our Gilded Glory Christmas theme. And also don't forget to head on over to Lowe's for some great gifts. We have the urns, we have the lightings, there were the garlands, we've got the miter saw, the table, the shears, and we can't forget our marble riser and trays. So when you're thinking about gifts for Christmas, definitely think about Lowe's. Well, you guys, we're done for the day, and I love the way that everything turned out. On Thursday, I've got some Christmas dupes that I know that you will love, so make sure you're subscribed so you won't miss out on that video. And remember, I'm posting videos on Monday and Thursday, so you can get all the inspiration you need so you can start decorating your home for Christmas. Well, I hope you got some inspiration or some ideas today. I appreciate you stopping by. Thank you so much for watching.